he has made it so clear. He states the neural chassis is able to maintain life and primary motor functions. It is covered by the reptilian brain, the limbic system or the mammalian brain, and the neocortex. This shows the value of human brain. In lower organisms, neocortex is absent. It is only in the human brain that the neocortex part, which is the rational brain, which is the brain which can use not only reasoning for knowledge and information, but also for controlling the emotions that are developed in either the reptilian brain or the mammalian brain, which are the result of the strategy of Mohaniya karma, the deluding karma, producing patience, cozy patience in the organism just to lead the whole life in persuasion of external things, external objects, external pleasure, etc. And in this way, the whole strategy of Mohani karma becomes so dominant in other organisms than human beings that they never can come out of the clutches of the chain of reincarnation or transmigration. Now when we come to this part of neuroscience, the theory of karma has given us one more clear picture, which now the neuroscience has made more clear in its own language. And that is the doctrine of Sangya. According to the theory of karma or the doctrine of karma, there are 10 Sangyas, which are called the unlearned instincts by birth. Out of them, the 4, they are essential for any living person, any living organism, right from the one-cell organism up to the developed organisms. 10 kinds of Sangyas. They are called as living standards or the reference standards in modern language of neuroscience. It is coded in biochemical language in the structure of DNA, which according to the principles of heritage, one inherits from the ancestors, and not only it gives the information for nutrition, for satiation of nutrition, for fear, for fighting the fear, for sexual urge and its satiation, and the most important one, that is called the Parigraha Sangya, which means the instinct for having strong affection, attachment to the body as the possession. That is called Parigraha Sangya. For maintaining these 4 basic life reference standards, the additional 4 of patience, which are called Kashai, Krodh, Man, Maya and Lobh, anger, conceit, deceit and greed. These are all instincts. These are not intellectual activities. These are not only found in human beings or other higher organisms or animals which have brains to some development, even in invertebrates. These kind of living standards, reference standards are there, and through biochemical operators, messengers, the life is operated, which we can study in lower organisms and even in plants. Although modern botany, in the field, in the domain of modern botany, quite a good development has been made to understand the plant life. But I can say with quite certainty that still the secrets of plant life is not discovered by modern botanists. To the extent this is explained in the darshan, which we call Jain darshan, and which we can call Jain botany, fundamentally in what manner these instincts are expressed in plant life, all these 10, 4 fundamental, 4 patients, and 2 are complementary to bring about the coordination in the practical life. So this is the point where we have to understand again the principle of equality of souls. Because fundamentally and transcendental point of view, every soul is at par, equal. Whether it is the soul belonging to Nigod category, which is the minimum, which is the most, this is the lowest category of souls according to this principle of karma theory, and the completely liberated soul, free from all the clutches of karma. Potentially, there is no difference whatever between that Nigod soul and the Siddha soul. That's why the fundamental processes of life are the same even in plants and even in higher organisms. Now we come to the last point where we want to know that is it possible to bring about any change in the automatic processes which is devised by the strategy of Mohani karma. The strategy of Mohani karma is given effect to through all the biochemical hormones in the body and the automatic processes through the biochemical genetic code and the automatic reactions to the external stimuli, and because of that only majority of souls, they don't find any way out, to get themselves free from these clutches, and they go on repeating whatever is there which is dictated by the automatic process. But still, in the human society, we have developed various means of learning. Here comes again the neuroscience, which speaks of learned instinct through knowledge, schooling, culture, external social circumstances. Here is the point, here is the way through which one can get out of the control of the strategy of Mohani karma. That is exactly the point where we have to find out how this process can be reversed. Usual process, general process, automatic process is bondage results in effect, and the whole process of effect through beginning from the fundamental, the subtlemost expressions which are called Adyavasaya, spiritual fundamental expression, they are translated into action. The action is in the end, which may be a mental action, it may be a vocal action, it may be a physical action, yoga through the whole process of Adhyavasaya affecting the Tejas body, that is the bioelectrical subtle body, accompanying the carbon body always. In the second place, the effect of that body on the whole mechanism of Lesha, divided into two branches, inauspicious and auspicious, again affecting the bhav, emotions, taking place in limbic system, and here also neocortex has to obey the dictates of limbic system in spite of having the power to give message or control the limbic system. So we end this whole discussion by concluding that at this point we have to carry out this research, how these spiritual practices, whether it is tapasya, that is in the form of fasting and self-discipline, whether it is contemplation, whether it is meditation, whether it is other kinds of knowledge producing techniques, etc. We have to establish the command of neocortex on limbic system, on reptilian brain, which are at unconscious and subconscious level, and actually find out through research, through quantified research, through scientific documentation, in what way one can control anger, one can control conceit, deceit, greed, fear, sex, actually how much is it possible, and how a soul can rise from that basic state up to the highest state, which is free from the effect of Mohani karma. I think neuroscience and karma theory both can go together, and in the field of empirical research, we have to devise such research projects at all levels and find out the keys, find out the solutions to these perennial questions of human society. And we hope that one day, with the integration of science with philosophy, particularly spiritualistic practice prescribed in Jain way of sadhana, we will be able to make a breakthrough and pave the way for establishment of a better human society free from violence, etc. At least to some extent, I think this is the goal which we want to achieve. This Bhagwan Mahavir International Research Center, established at the Jain Vishwabharati University, Ladno, is the major achievement, I say, which was conceived by Acharya Tulsi when he thought of conceiving this university. Before that, this concept was not there. He only wanted that the research must be made on literature field, canonical literature, their translation, etc. Later on, when these developments took place, the university took the shape, and since 1991 up to this 2016, we have gone so forward, we have marched forward, and now we have come to the point from where we have to take a leap and put present before the world that this confluence of science and philosophy can ensure a human society free from these disturbances. I really hope that all of you who are here, maybe belonging to any field and any domain, all of us will get together and in able directionship, able guidance, able leadership of our Acharya, who is not only Acharya Mahashraman, he is also the Anushasta of the university. He will guide us. And so many people are there to join hands. Let us hope for the better future of the humankind. Thank you very much.
But nuances of the theory were very well put by Acharya ji, and I really, Muniji, I am thankful to you that it was such an enlightening one. From philosophy department, yes, I always catch up things, and I always want to contradict. But you are not giving a scope for that. Thank you so very much for that enlightening speech. It is my, I apologize for a mistake committed by me. That is, the co-chair is Dr. Muni Abhijit Kumar. And I would like to introduce him. The Jain ascetic Dr. Muni Abhijit Kumar, he is BA, MA, PhD. Recently completed his research and has been awarded PhD degree from JVBI on Doctrine of Gods in Jainism, a critical study under the supervision of Professor Muni Mahendra Kumarji. You already have him here. He has a good command over 7 languages, including Oriental like Sanskrit, Prakrit, as well as foreign, including French. Muniji, that would be very sophisticated and fascinating to talk with you in French. Yeah, we will. Okay. He has traveled 7 states, nearly 10,000 kilometers on foot, covering 300 villages, towns, and cities to impart value education and moral upliftment to the masses. He has many articles published in reputed national and international journals and has delivered talks on crucial issues of science, psychology, philosophy, culture, and society in several national and international conferences. He believes that practical means need to be rediscovered in order to overcome chaos, disparity, violence, aggression, pollution, and intolerance that has influenced on the human mind and re-establish a peaceful world order and the wider application of principles of ahimsa, anekanta, and aparigraha. He has been an anchor comparer in many great events that include the book release event held by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's residence in 2010 at New Delhi. Yeah. Okay. So we, just a minute. It's a 1 minute, madam, because this is something very important. Yeah, we can do this in the end, okay? Yeah. There is a request. Please switch off your mobiles. The tunes are very good, but we can have that lingering in the mind afterwards. And one more important thing is please wear your badges, because it's very important to see that where the delegates are being seated. Thank you very much. I give hold to Professor Rudy.
Now we are going to listen to a very interesting lecture, I suppose, of Dr. Subhash Jain from Iowa University. And perhaps it is only for the most intelligent people among us, because it's about mathematics. And I was never very good in that, so I don't know if everyone
It is on the karma theory.
But it's also on the karma theory.
Mathematics of karma theory.
That we can understand, yeah. At least. Okay, so Professor Subhash Jain is Professor Emeritus of the Iowa University in the United States. And now, even if you're a professor, you can still become a PhD student in Jainology. And he is studying at Madras University, I think at Priyadarshana Jain's department, on the Karma doctrine. And he is writing a dissertation on the Jain Karma doctrine and rebirth. And so he is keenly interested in delving into the nature of reality. And I think all of us are keenly interested in the nature of reality. So I give the word to Professor Varius.
Yeah, he's here.
Subhash C. Jain from Iowa.
The title of my talk is A Mathematical Model of the Karmic Load. And what I'm going to do here, because I'm interested in finding the answer that when I die, will my soul come back in the next life in the new body of a human or subhuman or some other being. So I think probably you are also must be curious to find out what will happen to your soul when you die. And so I'm trying to find the answer to this question: when I die, what will happen? And of course, you can realize that, of course, will be a very initial attempt. It's not easy to really to answer that question. So most of these concepts included in this paper are conceptual, because I won't have any data to prove that what I'm presenting here. And it is a very early stage of development and have enormous potentials for improvement. So I'm just really very early stage to develop this model. And those of you who are looking for topics for your PhD research, because I'm also doing PhD research in this topic, but it has a vast potential, because you can take this very simple model and you can really do a lot of